What is money? How is money created? Gold is money. Everything else is credit. These words were uttered by the finance mogul J.P. Morgan about 100 years ago. The gold standard has since been abandoned, which means that now all money in essence is credit. In other words, money is a debtor-creditor relationship rather than, for example, an object. Money is created when a bank grants a loan. When the loan is finalized, a loan is created on the bank's asset side of the balance sheet. It represents a claim on the borrower. At the same time, the bank credits the borrower's account with the same amount. This represents a claim which the borrower has on the bank. Voila! The money credited to the borrower is credited out of thin air. It is not taken from some other customer's savings account. Money in the bank is not on the bank's asset side. They are the bank's debt and can't be used to issue loans. When the loan agreement is signed, the loan automatically appears on the bank's asset side, as does the newly created money on the borrower's account balance. But what restricts banks from simply creating an endless amount of money? The limitations come when the newly created money is put to work. Let's see what happens when the borrower uses the money to buy an asset. When the money is transferred to another bank, Bank B, the amount is deducted from Bank A's account with the central bank and credited to Bank B's account, which means that Bank B now has more central bank reserves. Nice, but it also had to assume Bank A's debt. Client 2 now has 100 more in the account, but it is also parted with an asset, which is now owned by Client 1. As we know, Client 1 had to pay for the asset, so it no longer has money in the bank. Correspondingly, Bank A does not owe Client 1 any longer. That is good, but it has also lost the same amount of central bank reserves. Bank A created new money when it granted a loan to Client 1. The balance sheet of the aggregated banking system increases with the loan amount, as does the aggregate balance sheet of the banking system's customers, Client 1 and Client 2, i.e. the general public. It is noteworthy that the balance sheet of the central bank is unchanged. It is also clear that a bank's amount of central bank reserves restrict the amount of loans it can safely grant. But how is cash created? Let's see. Client 2 now wants to withdraw its money in the account, which means the amount is deducted from the account, but he has the same amount of cash instead. When Client 2 withdraws its money, Bank B sheds its debt to the client. Good, but it needs to use the same amount of central bank reserves and exchange it for cash from the central bank. The central bank lowers its debt to Bank B, which is good for it, but it instead has a new debt in the form of cash to Client 2. Cash is claims on the central bank. Cash is created when claims on the banking system is converted to claims on the central bank. When money from bank loans are converted to cash, the aggregate balance sheet of the banking system is unchanged. The balance sheet of the general public still increases with the loan amount, which means that new money has been created. How are the central bank reserves created? Well, you won't be surprised. They are created out of thin air. When the central bank grants a loan to the bank, new central bank reserves are credited to the bank's account with the central bank. Central bank reserves, cash, and money in the bank are all credit. All three are denominated in the same unit measurement, i.e. currency. All three can, like other forms of credit, be created in infinite amounts. Currencies, such as the dollar, is thus a unit measurement of these creditor-debtor relationships, and not an object in of itself.